Hello.
And welcome to Film Bastards.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, welcome people to episode 500 of Film Bastards.
Sorry.
Matt Foster, and as ever I am joined by...
Becky Foster, hello everyone.
And
Ian Loring, howdy.
yeah, it's episode 500. I mean, fucking fair play to us. Let's fucking say that. So yeah, and we've not planned this, but it has fallen quite nicely for us, hasn't it? That it's kind of landed on Mission Impossible.
Well, we didn't not plan it.
We strategically skipped a week, to be fair.
We did actually, yeah. So we did fucking plan it. I'm just lying. Wasn't episode 400 Endgame as well?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. We're getting good at this.
Hang on. Yeah, so that was 100 episodes ago. So really, that should be less than 2 years. I think it was 300.
It might have been actually, yeah.
400 feels like it might have been right in the fucking bowels of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm fucking intrigued now. I'm going to look it up.
You look it up whilst I tell our listeners what they can look forward to in this episode.
Oh, what the fuck? That wasn't a special one.
Go on.
It wasn't in the bowels of COVID. It was just starting to emerge slightly. But Cruella and A Quiet Place Part 2.
Oh, God, yeah. Was that episode 400?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucked up there, didn't
we fucked up there. We're making up for it this week. This time round. It's a bit of a Becky special we decided last week.
Yeah,
it's the Beckiest week to ever Becky.
Yeah. So we have Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Woo.
And we have Insidious 5, basically, The Red Door.
The Red Door.
Yeah, so we've got those.
Ooh. Breaking news.
Oh, is this what's just come up on my...
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Hugh Edwards' wife has just outed him.
Oh, the news story that's been populating British culture to keep us away from things that are actually important has finally broken.
Why has she done that?
Well, I mean, probably because she couldn't have a new conservatory because he was
yeah. God,
allegedly,
is it just like Hell Hath No Fury, like a woman scorned or something? Fuck.
Allegedly. Let's not make 500 the episode where we finally get sued.
I mean,
let's be honest, these allegations have come from the Sun, and the kid's lawyers denied it.
It's all there's something afoot.
Yeah. I mean, it very much looks like maybe not criminality, but doing shit that Hugh Edwards should probably not be doing.
Yeah, it's probably not illegal, but it's certainly frowned upon.
I mean, he was the voice of quite a lot of royal coverage over the last few years.
Well, I mean, let's face it, there's farm there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just wowee. Yeah, all right. What, like the most famous fucking Welshman? One of the most famous Welshmen in the UK. Well done, my adopted homeland.
I mean,
anyway,
like I say, as it stands, it doesn't appear like he's done anything illegal.
No, it was just God. It was him as well. Just he hasn't been on the news for a couple of weeks, and he hasn't put out a statement saying it wasn't him.
And Vicky Derbyshire literally accidentally said his name the other day on Newsday.
Really?
Yeah, have you not seen it?
No. Oh shit.
She starts saying Q and then stops. BBC presenter Hugh and then just continues talking.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. That's very big news in the UK. Like for those outside the UK, the newsreader and, like I say, the voice of an awful lot of important national events. I mean, he announced the Queen died.
Mm?
Fuck's sake. It's not like I'm a royalist or anything, but fuck, man. They're going to want to redub all of that shit so fast.
Just Graham Norton redubbed over it.
Yeah. I mean, Rylan. Get Rylan to do it.
I genuinely, every time people mention this guy, I do not know who he is. Is he the cinch car guy?
Yeah, but
Right.
I had to check who Hugh Edwards was, so, I mean, mine's worse.
It's always quite amusing when people, like, when normal people, like, talk to me about, like, stuff like British TV and bits like that, or people, and they're talking to me and I'm just nodding along to them, and then they go, you know, and then they'll say something like, no, I don't know that person. Like, really? How? You know, from blah. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
You don't know who Stacey Solomon is, do you?
Do not have a fucking clue.
I don't know what she does, I just am aware of a big horsey face.
Don't have a clue who she was. If she knocked on the door and said, hi Mark, I'm Stacey Solomon, I would go, okay, don't know why I'd lie about that, but maybe you are.
You're funny.
Well. There we are.
I tend to stay out of the trivial things. And what else have we got? Well, we've got other bits. Trailers, news, what we've been up to.
What we've been whooped to.
Up to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you.
Did we say we're doing Insidious the Red Door as well? I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
All right.
we're doing,
I'm
doing
sorry.
that bad boy.
So,
But before we get into news, should we tell you the people a little story?
If you want.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're
So
referring
after
to.
last week's episode, me and Ian played detective, didn't we, Ian?
Oh, fuck.
did we?
Yeah. And we decided that the secret screening
Oh fuck!
that was across multiple chains on Saturday night.
Saturday night plum slot.
Plum slot. So it was
Multiple
7:30
chains.
Cineworld. I believe it was 7:30 Odeon. I believe the Light had it
Like 8:15.
8:15. And so me and Ian were like convinced, going, it's fucking Mission Impossible. This.
To be fair, I was leading that.
were.
I led you a merry dance, my friend.
So all leading up to it, everybody pretty much online was convinced that this was going to be Mission Impossible. So Saturday night we set off, didn't we? And we drove the half an hour to get to the cinema.
Had a whole conversation about what, if it wasn't Mission Impossible, what we would and would not stay for. There was one movie we decided that we wouldn't stay for.
Yep. So in a packed cinema, we sat there. It's usually on secret cinema things or unlimited screenings. There's minimal amounts of trailers, isn't there? No, not this time. No,
trapped there for
full
like half
fucking
an hour.
30 minutes worth of trailers and adverts and everything like that. Sat there waiting for it. Kind of being, when you're in these secret cinema things, you're always listening out for what everyone's saying. And everybody, I mean, the weird thing is, nobody else was saying that it was Mission Impossible, were they? Everybody seemed.
A few people.
Did you?
were,
I
yeah.
most I heard were people thinking it was Barbie,
I was never
which
going to be
it was
Barbie.
never going to be Barbie. And then it happens. BBFC title card comes up. Joyride. And I just burst out laughing, and we got up
The one
and
film.
got the fuck out.
We were even going to say and sit through Turtles if it was that.
I was happy for it to be Turtles.
Yeah, same.
Oh, that'd been great.
Yeah, the thing is, I will watch Joyride.
Not in the cinema.
I'm not that fussed about watching the cinema. If there's nothing else out that week, I'll happily watch it. I will watch it on a Tuesday night on whatever streaming service that it comes on to. I will watch it there, but I didn't fancy giving up my Saturday night to it.
Saturday night is prime real estate.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving up my Saturday night to a fucking shitty looking coming of age story.
Yeah. So we got up and we're walking out, aren't we? And a few people left after us, but we were the
only people to
us
get
and
up
one
and
other
leave
guy.
at the BBFC card, weren't we?
Yeah,
And
we're the
one other
only
guy.
people to get out. So we're walking out, and the other guy who's got out turns round to look back at one point, and I
I think
noticed
to
that
see if he was the only person.
see if he's
leaving.
the only person there. And I thought, I can't believe this. The only other person who's leaving is somebody I know, and he's the only person I know that lives in Hull.
Yeah, yeah.
So what a complete waste. I had a bit of a catch up with an old friend.
We've booked a date, haven't we?
We booked a date to go for something to eat and a bit of that to catch up.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
So that was random. Random evening. What's been happening in the news here?
Okay. Well, the writers' strike rumbles on and on. There was a report in Deadline yesterday saying that the studios are basically minded to let it run on until writers just start losing their homes and shit. They're thinking like October, November. It was interesting. I was reading like restaurants in like by the studios, like talking about how their business has been suffering and how at first when the strikes were happening, loads of people were in like WGA t-shirts and stuff like that coming in, still ordering stuff. Now the pickets have tailed off, as you fucking know they would.
Yeah.
All the folks who were there for 1 or 2 days to be photographed have fucked off. And now the actors look like they're going to be striking as well. So Hollywood is going to grind to a halt and don't really know how long for. So next year's movie product is probably going to suffer.
It will literally be things that are in post at the moment.
Yeah, or like,
Guy Ritchie will be rushing to get the 5 movies that he's currently fucking filming finished.
Yeah, quite. But I mean, like Deadpool 3 fucking shooting with a script where they can't do any improv, which is wild. It's going to be interesting. Like, shit's getting postponed and whatnot, and yeah, 2024's probably not going to be a banger year.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those, isn't it? Like we had in 2010, I believe.
I mean, yeah, Quantum Solace was 2008, and that was all up in there.
Must have been 2008. But then we had 2009, which was a double banger.
yeah, quite. But yeah, I don't know. It's all very depressing, but the I don't know. The tides are turning, and I was listening to a podcast earlier on, and like there was a guy on there just arguing like teachers and nurses and whatnot probably deserve to be paid more for the work they do, and when they go on strike, you get a lot of people giving them shit for it, and yet the writers, everybody's going, yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I'm quite conflicted on it, to be honest. I think the fact that you've got like a writer for a TV show also being an Uber driver sounds very wrong, very, very wrong. But
a lot of it is to do with the fact that the residuals that they get for streaming are so low in comparison that they get for network. Like, I mean, I think it's something like close to like a 20th.
But it's just like, if the nature of the business is changing, if the income stream is changing because the method of delivery is changing, I kind of feel like, okay, roll with the punches then. But demand more up front.
Studios are making isn't changing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose, just the whole, I think the streaming argument maybe does kind of blur that slightly. Yeah. Like, there is very little ancillary revenue for a Netflix film. But
Netflix, the problem is, Netflix are... The issue with the whole streaming service thing is it's very much becoming the snake eating its fucking own tail at the moment. In the fact that it was a sense of when you had 1 or 2 companies making a lot of money and having to pay the licensing for X, Y, and Z, then it kind of made sense. When you're then asking people to spend £10 per product, on average £10, £10 or whatever per product, and you're wanting to go, well, before we had Netflix and then maybe Prime, and it was costing me 20 quid a month. Now it's Netflix, Prime, whatever fucking Peacock, and then Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, and then the other ones that are all whatever Warner decides to actually properly launch at some point. When you're having all those, and it's gone from being 20 quid a month to being sort of pushing 80 quid a month, and you're still looking at going, hang on a minute, but I still can't find a lot of movies.
Yeah.
It's so the idea is, when people say, "Oh well, it works for music," it's like, yeah, because you're on Apple Music and I'm on Spotify, so there's that there. But pretty much, we've got an instant access to a way higher percentage of available music than you do movies based on your streaming services there. And the problem that Netflix have got is there's no historical product for people to get excited about. There's an argument there that all Disney have for a long time with Disney Plus was historical product. And that was the issue. The issue that I personally have with Disney Plus is you're sat on an entire Paramount, not Paramount, Touchstone, and Fox catalogue, and you're drip feeding it. There's an element of right. You have got to keep me here, and the thing that you're saying to keep me here is you're going, oh look, new fucking Marvel series. Yeah, don't care. Look, there's a new Star Wars series coming as well. Still do not give a shit. Can't you just give me like a bunch of fucking old movies that I'm not so I don't have to pay $7.99 from on iTunes?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's to be. I mean, my instant answer to that would be get yourself a fucking VPN, subscribe to the Criterion channel, turn off the VPN. Once you are registered with the Criterion channel, you can fucking watch it from anywhere. So, like, just as a little pro tip there, and yeah, no,
that's another subscription service I've got to pay for.
Yeah, no, and yeah, you're right. It just the nature of the game is changing, and oh god, I sound so fucking corporate here, but it's true. The heads of the studios are, they're not like studios that are just them anymore. They are part of massive corporations. Columbia is Sony, and Fox is fucking Disney, and etc. etc. I mean, Netflix is a bit, is actually a bit of an outlier there. And what's their job? It's to increase shareholder value. Now, at the moment, the markets are reacting quite well to all of this because the studios are saving themselves a fuck ton of money. Like, Q2 profits for the studios are going to be fucking fantastic. So they've got zero incentive to do fucking anything right now. Ladies and gentlemen, capitalism. And it's there are definitely bad guys here, and they're not the writers.
That is true, but also they are admitting at the same time that streaming retention and streaming new subscribers are going down.
So but in the short term,
books at the moment, the biggest, the reason why streaming it was so good for them, and the reason why they all want a bit of the pie is they have on the books a guaranteed amount of money that is coming in for a product at the time that already exists. And it is already there, and so they can go, right, every month we are getting X based on Y subscribers. But the problem is, for them saying to shareholders, for going forward, there has to be an increase. They can't say to shareholders, oh, well, in our projection in 2015 is that we're going to decrease by 9%, because shareholders will then go, wait, what the fuck? It's like, well, fucking, do you know what? It's just getting harder.
I know, but it's... And I'm not, to be clear, I'm not condoning this in the slightest, but 6 months of not having to pay this shit, and then at the end of that, like, dragging it out for so long that the writers then get less than what they were looking for.
Oh, it's without question a tactic that they use.
It's an absolute win-win for them. So it's like, I mean, it's kind of brutal because, like, the Writers Guild are stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, because if basically right now the studios have them over a barrel, absolutely have them over a barrel. And nothing will happen until the studios want it to happen.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Filmmaking, what a lovely business.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's an element of. There's the other element. I remember listening to the Bret Easton Ellis podcast going back around about a decade ago, and James Gray was on there, the filmmaker. And he was talking about the fact that that he was having to write textbooks as a job. That his job, let's talk about his job. And he kept saying a filmmaker. And he seemed quite bitter about it. It was like, no, my job is I write textbooks because people don't want to pay me to make the movies I want to make. And Bret Easton Ellis very much kind of did say to him at one point, because he kept bringing this up, and Bret Easton Ellis clearly got to the point where he was like, do you know what? I'm going to call him on this a little bit. And he's like, well, have you ever thought about going down the line of doing one for them? And he was like, well, no, I wouldn't. I artistically, I can't make that work for myself.
Yeah.
And Bret Easton Ellis was quite brutally honest and went, well, you know, it's like, he said, let me give you an example there. He said, Abel Ferrara lives in an apartment in New York that, you know, that he rents for about $1,200 a month. He said, and Ridley Scott lives in homes all over the world.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. There's an element of for instance, I've got a friend, I'm using bunny ears on a podcast, who is a musician and constantly complains that he can't earn a living off it. And it's very much like, that's because people don't like you enough. That's not people's fault. It just isn't for you, mate. You're going to have to get a real, again, bunny ears, job.
And I mean, this is the thing. It's like the film critic dream, and like going back through history, episode 500. Why not? You know, like I put paid to that quite swiftly in the early 2010s, where it's like it's gonna pay fuck all. I'd have to up sticks to London to probably make it work. And you know, what are my priorities right now? And they were like, and Donna and then Lottie, when Lottie came along, you know, and it's just a part of me that's like, I don't think that the writer of Horrible Bosses 2 is doing that because he has passion for Horrible Bosses 2. I'm sure there are many filmmakers who are doing shit out of passion. Of course they are, but it's the thing that gets my goat is like the writers just pressing too hard on, look what we're contributing to society, and it's just a bit. Yes, some of you are.
Yeah, I can see that. There's an element of that. The issue there, though, that I have with that, not even an issue, that the fun little comment that I'd made there is that the writers who write stuff like, for instance, A Horrible Bosses 2, are actually probably contributing more to the entertainment industry than the guy who wrote Lamb, let's say.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the guy who wrote Lamb will be considered. This isn't having a go. I haven't watched Lamb. I purposely picked a movie that I haven't watched. There, he will be considered to be an innovative and great writer, whereas the guy who wrote Horrible Bosses 2 is probably considered to be a little bit of a hack, a jobbing hack. that is there. But the actual fact of the matter is that one of them is actually contributing to the entertainment industry, and the other one wrote a story about a lamb.
Which
might be a really good movie, by the way. I haven't watched it yet.
It's a business. It's all a business, and yes, it's a creative business, but it's a business.
There's the Michael Bay element of that, in the sense of Michael Bay knows it's a business, and unashamedly knows it's a business. So he's somebody who clearly loves watching like what people would call real cinema, but he's also like a sense of I love that, and I love that element of it, but also I love my fucking house in LA. It's fucking great. And so the fact is, he probably would really like to make like little, like more independent movies, but he also wants to make a lot of money for the studios.
Look, we'll move on in a sec, but it's basically it. Noel said on WhatsApp about AI in the boy chat a couple of weeks back, like adapt or die, and I've actually very much taken that to heart in work over the last couple of weeks, where I myself, like in what I'm looking at focusing on in terms of like development, and what I'm trying to like help my team with in terms of development, is developing skill sets to work in a future where AI is going to be all up in our fucking industry, and that we'll be able to survive and thrive, and it very cleanly is adapt or die. And there's just a part of me with all of this that is adapt or die about this. The rules of that particular game have changed. Is it fair? No. No, it's not. But you are not going to change that, like the system in this particular fight.
What I would say to that is that if the message there that's coming out of that is we should all just roll over and let fucking capitalism tickle our bellies, then we're all, the planet's fucked.
Yeah, and it is.
We need the writers to make the things.
And
like when even fucking Charlie Brooker is coming out and saying he was a bit worried, so he got ChatGPT to write a Black Mirror episode, and at first he was a bit like, this is alright this, but then he was reading it, he was like, yeah, but it's very just surface level. And like, we need the writers. They need to be able to live on what they make. If they can't, because they're just getting absolutely fucking rinsed by these corporations, then I'm sorry, we're just going to end up watching fucking repeats of stuff on old movies. And I absolutely, I'm on that side. I'm just purely the demands. Like one I mentioned a couple of weeks back that's really stuck in my head is talking about the minimum amount of writers in a writer's room for TV.
The thing is, with any negotiations, so what you do is you overstate so that you can backtrack to a place. But
they're not backtracking on shit. No concessions have been made, and it's over 2 months in.
That's the issue. It was always going to go on a little bit too long, this one, I think.
But I mean, like the studios are apparently saying to deadline October, November, like literally, because it's like they want it, like essentially they kind of want it to hurt.
They want it to go on a fucking Q3's balance.
And that's exactly it. Like I said earlier, it's a win-win, and I hate saying that, but I'm too old to think that shit is particularly going to change, which is a really nihilistic point of view. But I'll be the dude at the end of Doctor Strangelove, fucking jumping on the Bond and going yeehaw. I don't know. Yeah, but I'll say this: my tune will change if it turns out the Drive to Survive has to stop filming because of it. But it doesn't at the moment because it's real.
What's the Drive to Survive?
The Formula One show I watch.
Is it real?
Yeah.
No,
is
not
it
really.
Like,
is it
Kardashians, where it's
No, not really.
real.
But there's drama, man. Daniel Ricciardo is back. My fucking boy is back. A guy got shit canned out of a team. Daniel Ricciardo left McLaren last year, wanted to take a fucking break from Formula 1 because he was so stressed, but he's got the fucking bug again. And he's back with AlphaTauri, the grid's shittest team. And I can't wait. Like, that's all the fucking drama I need right now, damn it.
Yeah,
Oh.
you couldn't write it, but somebody probably did.
No, but it happened. No. I mean, that actually is real. Like, this rookie driver got dumped on his ass, and Daniel Ricciardo has gone back to Red Bull's sister team 3 years after leaving Red Bull Racing under a cloud. It's fucking beautiful, and that's all I'll talk about Formula 1 this week. Apart from the British Grand Prix was really, really good. Go Lando. There you go, I'm done.
And fuck Karen Delphine.
Yes, Lando Calrissian came second in the British Grand Prix this weekend. It was something. Yeah.
Right, trailers. Let's do fucking trailers.
Corner office.
Yeah.
Because I'm a corporate fucking stooge. This looked like a Funny or Die thing. This isn't a film. Is it?
If that film is more than 93 minutes long...
If that film is more than 62 minutes long, I think we're in trouble, to be honest.
Yeah, it's... But the weird thing is, I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah.
The trailer's done quite well. It's an hour and 44 minutes.
Ah, fuck.
I just hope that the room, the corner office room, is literally just a corner of the like the office space, and he's just going there thinking it's a big fucking room. It looks like that might be the case.
Yeah.
The only thing that puts me off from that is Daniel Prudy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, but we have to give him a chance to not just be fucking Arbed from Community.
I just find him just like not a very watchable screen presence. I didn't really like him in Community.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying though. Is like he might be good in this.
What else have we got?
Sorry, I don't know why I did that. We've got a few. Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Right.
can call it a trailer.
Right. Just, if the marketing campaign for that is, Japan got fucked in World War II, didn't it? Do you know what's going to fuck it even more?
Yeah.
Gojira. Sure. Absolutely. Let's be weirdly horrible to Japan.
It does seem a little bit like that. Like they've gone, shit, how can this get any worse? And Godzilla's just gone, hey guys!
Yeah. Great. It's barely a trailer, as Becky said, but this looks fucking amazing. Sorry, I just need to put my phone on charge. Let's go.
Yeah, the thing is, I saw that and I thought, because at first I'm like, fuck, have they made another Godzilla movie that we just don't know about? That I'm not going to watch. And then when I was, oh no, it's not, it's a proper Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
And when it came up and said in theatres December, I thought, I fucking really hope it's in theatres in this country in December. I want to watch that at the cinema. I really want to watch that at the cinema.
Yep.
Go on, what else have we got?
Okay, Medusa Deluxe.
Sure. No? No.
It's an A24 and BFI co-production thing.
Go on then.
So yeah, it's gonna be that.
Yeah.
Looks like it was like shot in 4:3.
It looks like it was shot literally in like the back office of the BFI as well.
Yeah. That's kind of what. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. People are gonna bang on about it. It's gonna be Little White Lies film of the month, and then it's gonna disappear, and no one's ever gonna talk about it.
It's gonna be Mubi's free cinema ticket, and it's gonna be because nobody can go and watch it because it's not actually playing anywhere outside of London.
We've got Too None Too Furious.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's weird because I remember, like, the prospect of watching the first one, I remember, like, back in the day, like, kind of, like, freaked me out.
Yeah, you were properly freaked out about the idea of The Nun, weren't you? And then you rewatched it recently, didn't you, Bex?
Yeah.
The Nun.
It's not as bad as I remembered it being.
No.
It's fine.
I gotta say, spell's broken a bit for me here.
I don't think Valak's particularly scary.
Valak?
Isn't that...
Oh, is that the name of the nun? Right, sorry. Yeah, okay.
I just don't think it's... I mean, it is. There's bits in... And the nun features in various Conjuring movies as well, so I don't know whether it's from that one or whether it's from... It might be one of the Annabelle movies, actually. But anyway, there's one where, like, she comes out of a painting. I think there's a couple where she comes out of a painting.
That's one of the Conjuring ones.
Yeah. And that's creepy. It's the painting, and then the lights go out, and it looks like more 3D in the dark, and then the lights come back on, and then it's painting again. And
yeah, that's Conjuring 2, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Conjuring 2.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll watch it because I'm a fucking sucker for these kind of things, but I'm not particularly excited for it. I think the most interesting bit of the trailer for me was when I go in, ooh, Tysa Farmiga's cut her hair.
But then, yeah, you mentioned Tysa Farmiga, and I'm like, God, she is just...
I don't mind her. I think she's all right. But then I've probably seen her in more than you.
But I mean, she is Poundland Vera, though, isn't she? That's the thing. Like, she doesn't... Yeah. Like, Elle Fanning is not Poundland Dakota Fanning.
No, she's probably gone better than Dakota Fanning now.
Yeah, like Teresa Farmiga is Poundland Vera.
She's not really, though. Like, in this, she should have stayed well clear of the Conjuring universe, because that is what is going to be levelled at her, because she's in the same franchise as her sister's in. But she's really good in, like, the American Horror Story stuff. She's really good in that...
okay.
Is it Final Girls? Final Girls?
She's fine, mate.
Yeah, she's alright.
She's just a bit human night nurse for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we got Bob Marley, One Love, maybe the most stoned trailer of all time.
The thing about the Bob Marley one, is it's a Bob Marley biopic that is produced by all of his children.
All of them?
Yeah.
Are there thousands of them?
There's 7, I believe.
The credits are going to be like those extended Lord of the Rings credits where it fucking thanked every member of like the OneRing.net or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. That was it, 13, 16 minutes, was it?
Yeah, but it's just going to be all of his kids.
Yeah. I don't know, with the Bob Marley one, it's a little bit like... It's a weird one, Bob Marley. Bob Marley seems to be really important to people in Jamaica and white people who like weed who live outside of Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how much traction there is for a Bob Marley biopic.
No.
The Retirement Plan.
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
I will take that, please. Thank you. That looks fucking ace.
Yeah, that feels like a real fucking watch that on the sofa on a Thursday, Friday night kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. Just seeing... When is it out?
Probably next week on VOD or something. Yeah.
Retirement Plan. Yeah, there's no build date for it to come out yet. What else have we got?
I got 2 bigger ones left, I think. So if you guys have got any more,
I think that's just 2 left ourselves as well. Yeah.
So yes, we have Wonka, and I'm going to remember to cut in here a little bit of recording I did with Lottie and maybe slightly reticent to be on microphone Donna about Wonka. So yeah, lots. It's been 500 episodes, the podcast that I do with Mark and Becky.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you remember being on the podcast?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Do you remember when Detective Pikachu came out?
Yes, I remember that.
And you remember doing a little bit of recording with me?
Yeah,
You do?
a little bit.
Oh, that's nice.
I only remember photographic memory.
Sorry?
Which one?
That's the Detective Pikachu. Yeah.
Can you feel anything on your...
I do, because Kiki is currently licking my hand. Now, Lots, I just showed you the trailer for Wonka,
Yeah.
right, which is a prequel to a film that you've never seen. All right, and I might show it to you one day. But
Willy Wonka, wouldn't it be?
yeah. Well, actually, the film was called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. No, it wasn't. It was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You're right. And then the Tim Burton one was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, Lots, I just showed you that trailer. It's kind of like targeted at kids your age. And by the end of it, you were like trying to get out of the room. What did you think of that trailer?
Well, I didn't see much of it because I was obviously trying to check my...
You were trying to what?
Check on my bath.
Check on your bath?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you want to stop your bath and maybe have another crack at it?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we just watched the trailer again. Donna, just say what you just said then. And let me turn the TV off. I can't turn the TV off. This is chaos. It's chaos. There really is chaos. Where is the remote? I'm going to leave this in. Hang about. Something. Okay. Denny. No. You liked Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa, didn't you, Don?
Yeah. What?
No, you want to. That was what you said. You want to see Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa.
Why? What did I say wrong?
No. Yeah. Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. Okay. What is that a film that you think we would watch as a family at Christmas time?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lots.
What?
Okay. So that film is designed as like a big family film for Christmas, right?
Yes.
Would you go watch that film?
Mama.
Maybe.
So I'm going into my teenage phase now.
You're going into your teenage phase now.
About that and Pizza Express.
It's just, it's wild. When we started this podcast, you were like a year away from being born. And now you're talking about going into your teenage phase. How old are you?
10.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am!
No, you're not.
He's got his mind stuff.
But did that film look okay?
Yeah.
Did it look like it was kind of made for someone of your age?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kinda. Okay. I'm intrigued now. In what ways did it not?
It was just that it was a bit like, how do I say this? Like, it was a bit like how children my age will normally like animations. You notice that? I don't know.
What, you usually like animated films?
Yeah, and it's just like, it's not. That's why I got a bit confused. But it's obviously a bit animated because everything we film with, you're not just going to have people stabbing each other
Well,
in real life.
no, but I mean, like, there's a difference between animation and, like, using kind of, like, fake knives and, like, fake blood and stuff like that.
What about fake crocodiles standing up?
Fake crocodile standing up?
Yeah,
What?
about that. Oh.
What, like Lyle Crocodile?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was computer animated, to be fair.
Or did they train a crocodile to stand up and sing?
But do you know what James Bond once did?
What?
They had a stunt actor jump across alligators or crocodiles, I can't remember, and they were real ones. And they got they got a stunt man to go bump, 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 bump.
What?
I'm going to show
Well,
you.
how would he be
I'm gonna show you after this, right? But so it was okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, all right. And you would watch that film with pizza coming afterwards.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, family.
Also, Daddy.
Yes.
It looked like he was the first man to invent chocolate.
Sorry.
It looked like he was the first man to invent chocolate.
He's not the first man to invent chocolate, but I think it's like inventing like wild flavors and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, and 500 episodes of the podcast. Have you anything to say about that?
How many did you do per? Did you just do one per week or?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm nearly 11.
She's got a massive smile on her face.
Are you gonna say what age I actually am?
You're 9.
I'm 8.
All right. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
I'm not 8. I'm 9.
Okay. Good. All right. Thanks, Lars. Good job.
What did you think of it, Ian?
I mean, it's from Paul King. He did the Paddingtons, so sure. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it'll be all right to take lots to at Christmas.
I don't think it looks fun enough to take kids.
Nah, not particularly.
The origin story no one fucking needed or asked for or wants. No, it looks... It's a film about Willy Wonka becoming the Willy Wonka that we know, but it looks like it lacks whimsy. Like, there's a bit where they fly, some stuff glows. It just looks unfun.
Hugh Grant as Oompa Loompa, the role he was born to play.
Yeah,
I'm up for that. Gotta be honest.
I read a weird quote from Paul King about that, when he was saying that you're like, oh, the CG, yeah, it looks bad, until you realise that it doesn't look bad. It looks really good.
Cool.
And I read that and thought,
I don't like this kind of trend of taking beloved things from a go and making them a bit snide. Like, Hugh Grant being a sarcastic, kind of nasty Oompa Loompa, I just don't need it.
Oompa Loompas were quite nasty anyway, were they?
No, they just sing.
The thing is, I don't care about any of the Willy Wonka things. I've never been entertained by any of it.
No.
And they don't really like Roald Dahl, so...
I mean, the book is if you take all the Roald Dahliness and his problems as him as a person, some of the books are really good, and Willy Wonka, well, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is one of them.
Fine.
But I don't want or need it, and if I want to watch a Willy Wonka property, I'll just watch the Gene Wilder one. So it's not going to affect me in any way. I don't understand the point.
Thing is, I will go and see it because I think I had the same opinions about Paddington, and I really enjoyed Paddington. And Charlemagne looks really up for it, and he's usually pretty good in stuff.
Yeah.
What I would say is, if it was Tom Holland, I probably wouldn't want to go and see it. And I have nothing against Tom Holland. But...
It's an odd choice for Timmy Charles to make, isn't it?
Like, does seem an odd choice.
That's the intriguing part, I suppose.
But it also seems a little bit like he's gone... The problem with all these movies I keep making is... Don't get paid a lot.
I just don't know. I just don't know. Wonka is a children's character. Films and stuff made about him should be specifically geared towards children. And there's like this whole thing of like what's it, like that Peter Pan movie? You know, that's not for kids. It's dark and miserable looking, and not an awful lot magical happens, and it's just... Kids' movies shouldn't be dry. And this looks a bit dry.
Yeah. I mean, like Lottie's reaction of, yeah, it looks alright. You know, I think
How exciting is it?
you know, I mean, she's 9. Like, that should be real target audience for this shit, and it's not grabbing her.
No,
yeah.
it very much seems like one of those where it's a film made by people, or decided to be made by people who are saying, well, when I was a kid, I'd have loved something like this. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But that's because when you were a kid, all toys were made out of wood. Go on then, the next big one.
I hope Ridley Scott's Napoleon is 4 hours long.
You see, I have a different angle on this.
You hope it's an hour long.
I hope it's 92 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Because it'd just be funny if the Napoleon story was sold in 92 minutes and it was, what are we going to do about this fucking revolution? And it's Napoleon goes, shoot him? And they go, oh, I like that. Oh, by the way, I'm your emperor now. Ah, fuck. The end.
I mean, I don't know. It looks like a proper Ridley Scott war epic.
It looks very much like one of those Ridley Scott movies where he's spending an awful lot of money. It will be really, really fucking good. And it was basically the studio all sat around going, we've got it. We've got a fucking another Gladiator. And then it's not. It's another fucking Exodus, God of Kings shit like that.
I don't know.
Kingdom of Heaven.
But it's like
both really good movies.
This will be like his director's cut. You know, like Apple will be like, just fucking do it. You know, the theatrical release is just like the cherry on top. But, you know, Apple, man. Killers of the Flower Moon in October. Napoleon in November, which probably means you'll be able to watch both of them on Apple TV come Christmas and New Year.
Oh yeah, they're without question going to release one on like December the 23rd, and then the other one probably the 30th or the 1st of January.
Yeah, exactly. And like, just, man, and I think they're going to be all up in the Oscar nominations next year as well, you know. And it just, I just continue to find it very funny that Netflix tried so hard to do all that shit, and Apple got the first streamer Best Picture with fucking Coda. That still makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Remember when Coda won Best Picture? You guys watch Coda yet? Nope. Coda. Perfectly nice film. A very pleasant film. Best Picture. Nomadland and then Coda. Those were the COVID Oscars.
The Oscars can sometimes do that though. I feel like since they changed the way that the voting are done for Best Picture, it can sometimes throw up one where everyone kind of goes, ha, about.
It's wild.
Do you know what else is wild?
What?
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh, we're going straight in.
Yeah. Written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, and stars. Well, who's it star? Well, Tom Cruise is there. Ving Rhames is back. Simon Pegg's back. Becky Fergs is back. Vanessa Kirby is back. But also, who else is there? Shea Whigham's there. Hayley Atwell's there.
Greg Tarzan Davies.
That fucker. Good, yeah, isn't he? Yeah. Rob Delaney's there.
Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, there's some fucking... Now I'm thinking about it, there's some randomers that turn up.
My fucking boy Cyclone from Top Gun. Charles Parnell.
Yeah,
the guy who
there,
gives him the fucking fist bump at the end.
Yeah, fucking hell. Right, let's go. Let's look at IMDb and let's see what they say about it. Let's see what they say the synopsis is, because there's things going on in this.
So many things.
Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. I mean, you could fucking say that about any of them, IMDb. Let's go. Ian, what did you think?
It's not a weapon. It's a key to deactivate a weapon.
That's a fair point.
That's just wrong, IMDb. That's really angered me.
So, yeah, all spoilers all the time.
Oh yeah, we have to go very hard, all spoilers out on this one.
We're just going to drop this in there and we'll pick it up later on. Do we think Becky Fergs just went, Chris, just fucking write me out. I can't be asked anymore. It's very, very tiring.
I think there's definitely something of a either scheduling conflict. I don't think they went into this double header initially intending to write her out.
Bizarre, but anyway, we'll talk about it. That arc just feels so fucking incomplete.
Yeah, it's the fact that not only that, just very quickly, and we'll come back to it. It's the fact not only does her character die in it, it's the fact that that she doesn't really do anything in it up to that.
Yeah,
she's barely in it. What?
Honestly,
maybe there's like a personal reason. Maybe
possibly, yeah.
I mean, like we've said before. Sorry, kind of getting into it now. So apologies, but we've said before, that like she's always been a bit. I don't do the stunts. I'm happy to be there. Just let him do his thing. And I mean, like, is there a question? And to be clear, this is not a criticism that she's like, I just don't want to do the high octane action stuff anymore. And like I don't want to be Hayley Atwell at the end, like being suspended over fuck knows what, like grabbing onto his, if it's just a case of that, good on her.
I think there's possibly a case of that, but I think also as well, I know Simon Pegg has said, before that the Mission Impossible movies, they're essentially like 6 to 8 months. You're working on it, and she's got June as a double header at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's a possibility that she's just sat down and gone, I've got to pick one, and I kind of, June's number one I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
That's wild. Tom Cruise now is older than John Voight was in the first one.
Fuck yeah, that's fucking crazy. Right. So I've cooled on it slightly. I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I think I'm at a 4.5. The ending, I was just pure hype. Like that's absolutely. But when Henry Cerny is doing that voiceover at the end, and then it just goes Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, end of part 1. I'm like, let's fucking go. When's part 2 can start now? Thank you. Where is it? Num num num. Yeah, okay. It's not the complete package that Fallout is, but it is a terrific time. It is a terrific time.
It's 2 hours 43 minutes that does not feel
No,
2 hours 43
not
minutes.
at all. I think the plot is like just weirdly fucking spookily timely, considering like they would have started this like at least they started it during COVID, so like basically 2020. So, and all the stuff with AI that's been coming about with ChatGPT, blah blah blah, was like the tail end of last year that really started ramping up. So fair play. I find that plot just genuinely really interesting, and maybe like I said earlier on, it's because like AI, talk of AI is very, very big in my professional sector at the moment. So maybe I'm just like nerdily into it from that point of view. But I thought the entity, which again is fucking weird because we use things called entities in my line of work, and it just like every time they said entity, I basically had PTSD because they're the bane of my fucking life. Seriously. But yeah, the whole, it knows it's kind of figured out all the parameters, like everything that can happen. And when Tom Cruise is like, it's scared, I'm just like, take me to fucking Boner Town, Tom Cruise. Let's go. Yes, it's scared. It would only be scared of you. You are the only fucking person on Earth the entity is scared of. And of course it's you, you fucking crazy bastard. I want Becky to speak. We'll get into it. I really, really, really liked it. It didn't let me down.
Becky.
Yes.
What did you think? Bearing in mind you hold Fallout to such a high level. So I'm going to question you before I say this. Were you expecting better than Fallout, or were you happy with it being just very, very good and accepting that it probably wasn't going to be quite Fallout?
I was hoping for better or as good.
Right.
And as such was disappointed.
But...
It's really good.
Right.
But there's just... I have complaints about it that I just kind of wish I didn't. Killing off Ilsa Faust is just a fucking stupid
It is a
move.
very odd decision. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it just really is, and it takes a lot of wind out of it when she dies. It's like, all right, so what? Like, where's the heart of this movie now? Their little flirtation in this, which they do build before she dies, like they're adding to it.
But I think that was almost a little bit to kind of heighten the impact of her passing.
I just think it's a bit of a fucking stupid move, to be honest. I think the fact that it's not anything to do with the Syndicate as well, because they've basically, they could have had it, like if we take Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2 as essentially a really long movie, which is kind of the vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
It could have been a trilogy of the same baddie. Like, they could have written it back, that there is still some remnants of it and they're still doing shit or whatever, or taking it in a different direction, or have the Syndicate involved with this AI fucking entity thing. It just feels stupid. Or they shouldn't have killed Solomon Lane off, because he was a really good bad guy.
But I think if you then try to get him out of...
Hang on, did they kill him off?
It would have been...
Gets
Yeah,
blown
he
up,
died
doesn't
off
he?
in Fallout, didn't he? Yeah.
Solomon Lane died at the end of Fallout.
Yeah.
He's in the cabin-y thing, isn't he? He gets blown up.
Huh.
Doesn't he?
I can't remember.
I thought because his whole thing was like...
No, don't Elsa Faust kill him?
Yeah, I think so.
Elsa kills him, yeah.
Really? I
I'll
distinctly
have to check this out.
remember him surviving, because he's like, I want to fucking die and take the world with me, and he lives to see the world survive.
It's only been like a week since, like 2 weeks since I fucking watched it.
Hang on, no, I need to wiki that. That's going to bother me.
Yeah, should bother me as well.
Because I was about to say a defence of Sean Harris not being in it. Hang on. I'm sure this is fun for listeners. Apologies.
Who are probably right now going, saying the right answer to us repeatedly.
Sloan hands Lane over to MI6 through...
Yeah, Sloan hands...
her
Yeah.
exoneration.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, of course they do at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, well, yeah, that do you know what, then fair enough. You know, he could have still been part of it. Fair enough.
I just think if they'd done that and it was essentially a trilogy of him with Ilsa Faust as like the foil and love interest, and Solomon Lane as like the overarching bad guy, that would have been a really fucking good way to go out. If Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2 are the last Mission Impossible movies that Tom Cruise is going to make,
So they would have...
it's a bit of a shitty baddie.
They would have had to recast Sean Harris. He was pissed off that he was in Fallout.
Yeah.
Like, it must have been a contractual thing. But, like, they would have had to recast... And this is the thing. It's like that kind of creative decision. The creative decision with Ilsa Faust. I am fucking convinced, given the way her arc plays out in this, that it was not Christopher McQuarrie's initial choice that Rebecca Ferguson was killed off in this film.
Yeah, no, I don't think... I think he envisioned writing... I think he envisioned her going to the end, and then...
That's fine, and the thing is, we can't speak to the behind-the-scenes machinations of making the film. All we can do is review the film, and from a viewer of the film's point of view, I hate the fact that they killed her, and I think the bad is shit.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think he's shit? I quite like him.
Well, who? Shit.
the baddie?
Yeah, he's fucking great.
Yeah.
I like him.
And the AI thing as well, it's like, it looks like... You know, like when you see, like, movies about hackers, from like the 90s.
Like Hackers.
And there's all they're I like Hackers, and it's just like you've done the most basic representation of what like hacking could be. The fucking pulsating
but
for the AI. It's like
I can't help. Sorry, I'm defending this so hard. The thing is, this film's vibe and mood just reminded me of like an espionage thriller from the 90s. Like that, the fact that it starts on a motherfucking submarine felt super fucking 90s to me. It was like we were watching a Jack Ryan film at the start, and it felt purposeful. One criticism I will just say: Tom Cruise with the old mask on, and he's just like the most artificial looking man in the world. Just walking into that room where they're talking about the entity, no one seems to acknowledge him. It's like, but he's a rubber face man. Who the fuck is he supposed to be? Because it just kind of seems like when he gives Cerny the case, Cerny's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it like no one ever addressed that. It really bothered me.
That's the thing. I think there's an element of almost like he almost looks too inconspicuous to be like conspicuous.
I don't. It made me laugh. He just kind of like opens the door while they're having a chat, and he just sits in the corner. But then the camera is constantly Cerny, and then him just in the background. And I was really fucking nervous. I was like, "What is gonna happen here?" I was waiting for a jump scare.
I was waiting for it to be something, but it was only like as he gives him the thing and it's put his mouth. I thought, "Oh fucking hell, he's Cruise."
I didn't get that at all. I was like, "What?"
At that first thing, I thought, "Oh, this is a bad guy who's gonna like fucking kidnap one of them." Like that.
Or like I thought it was gonna be like a bad guy who was gonna convince Henry Cerny to be on his side or something like that. You know, like. Come with me because you're saying the right thing about controlling it. We're going to control it together or whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm pretty hyped for this film. I will. I will definitely acknowledge it's got its faults, like I just did there. But I really enjoyed the vibe of it.
Bex, anyone?
Just back to what I was saying before. I just think it's no, it's all good. It just feels like a really lazy kind of representation of the AI for the bad guy. I think
difficult to write AI.
Yeah.
As a visual concept.
I thought it was cool.
I'd have it as like a sound wave on a screen or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't. It just looked a bit.
But I liked the whole. It was hiding in plain sight in that club, like it was a light show. Like it's goofy.
Well,
but
I tapped you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And when when they first walk in,
yeah, I
tapped you on the shoulder and went, "It's the AI thing."
Yeah.
Because it was there and it was the same bit.
But I suppose they hadn't seen it up to that point.
No,
so you can forgive them.
But it was. No, I'm not saying. Oh, I spotted it. I'm saying it was the filmmakers clearly wanted. Filmmakers clearly wanted you to know what the fuck was going on before the characters. There. You didn't get on with some of the slapsticky moments, did you?
Oh, yeah, it's fucking... So, right, so just to finish off the point I was making about it could have been a really good trilogy. Like, the Christopher McQuarrie ones feel like a step up in the Mission Impossible movies. They feel like another level. This feels like one of the old, earlier ones to me.
That's it.
And I think it looks cheap in comparison to Rogue Nation and Fallout as well. But I think that might just be all the fucking blue light.
I think there's a
lot of blue light.
I think there's some COVID enforced shit, and I get it. We're reviewing the film that's on screen, and like our apps. Yeah. It's just like I don't feel like that's necessarily their fault.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't really care about the limitations that they had in place. Delay making it, if that's the case, and make the best movie you can make.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
But yeah, the slapsticky moments, especially the bit with the fucking stupid little yellow car. No. Like, no. It's just so fucking undignified.
I kind of liked that because I agree with you that bit wouldn't slot into a Rogue Nation or a Fallout, and did feel a little bit like there was a bit of whiplash, I would say, from that there. But I like the idea that it very much set out to go, right, Grace is driving these cars like a normal fucking person would drive them. She's not a super agent like all the rest of them are.
Oh, but that stupid bit where she's just like spinning around in a fucking circle, that would be harder to do than to watch.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I will
silly. You
admit
could
that,
have cartoon music over that whole section.
that section was a little bit weird.
I thought, right. So similar complaint that I had with John Wick.
Yeah.
So obviously, filmmakers seem to have got it into their fucking heads now that if it's going to be like a big blockbuster movie, it has to be 300,000 years long. But if the material isn't there, just make the film that you've got the material for. Don't just do the same thing over and over and over again. The pickpocketing thing, fuck off.
It really bothered you, didn't it?
It was like, well, obviously she's fucking got it. We've done this 10 times already now. That the bit with the train cars, like, yeah, all right, I've 2, maybe 3 train cars that they have to climb up. Don't have like 15 or whatever the fuck it was. That section went on far too long.
My brain a lot of the time was going, fucking hell, I really want to press X now.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that's a negative.
And also there was too much, like, it always has.
Anything you liked about it?
Well, that's it, and it sounds like I'm being real neggy on it, and I think it's such.
Yeah, you're just disappointed. It's
huge
yeah, it's fair.
You know, you've gone from having two movies with a really strong female counterpart for Ethan Hunt to Hayley fucking Atwell. What a shitty character. And I don't think I think part of it is I can't forgive her for the fact that if she hadn't stolen that key back, Ilsa Faust wouldn't have had to follow her and die. She's directly responsible for Ilsa's death. So I think part of it is that I can't forgive her for that. But she's just such a fucking awful character. And she's joining the fucking IMF now, so she'll definitely be in the next one, and she'll be on the fucking team. And I just don't know if I can be arsed with it, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, they need to write her better for the next one.
Right, I've got my views now.
Oh yeah, good point.
You seem very negative on it, Becky.
Yeah, I think the more I need to rewatch it, I think, and I need to not rewatch it. I need to rewatch it after having a bit of a gap from the good ones, so I can judge it more on a level playing field.
Tom Cruise found dead in a ditch. Wow.
He was good in it. Fuck, and he looks good for 61, doesn't he?
I can't believe that they've said that these aren't going to be the last ones, and they're thinking of future instalments.
That's bonkers,
Is
isn't
that
it?
true?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I love that.
Apparently they're not quite what is it. Apparently when Cruise has said that when they set out to start making them, they were very much, these are going to be the last ones. By the time the last one comes out, I'll be 63 years old. It's maybe time, what is it? And now apparently he's like, do you know what? I'll only be 63 years old.
Yeah. He's so good as Ethan Hunt. Like, his character progression, and you know, it's a long time since the first one. He feels like the older version of that guy. Like, he's so, that character is so kind of fucking stuck to him that it just all feels very organic.
I think there's an element of, with this one, of they've gone, right, we need to... So I think he's taken, like, it's a big move that's split into 2 parts. So the last big movie that we had that was split into 2 parts was effectively Infinity War and Endgame. They were effectively... It's a 2-part.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I remember I found Endgame hard work, and I don't think it's as good as Infinity War, and I think I'm a lot of the time the minority of that, because I just thought it tried to be a little bit too much fun, whereas Infinity War had been quite serious.
Yeah.
I think with these, they've maybe flipped them round and gone, we're going to have a lot of the funner elements in this because the next one is going to be a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Within it there. I personally I've never really got the whole Haley Atwell thing. And I didn't for a long part of this movie. I thought she was very good in it. I think as a performance-wise, I think she's actually really quite good in it at the character she's doing. Didn't really get on that well with the character. But then again, there is something about a brunette putting her hair up in a ponytail. is I would say to you, what Bex?
Yeah.
That it's a strong look. When a brunette puts their hair in a ponytail like that, in that forcible of a manner, it means one of two things. One, shit's about to get done. Two, dick's about to get sucked. That's how strong a fucking moment that was. The Simon Pegg looks tired.
He really does, doesn't he?
Looks tired.
Yeah.
I get Shea Wiggum. I always like seeing him in anything.
Just on the Simon Pegg thing. Let's just I don't know. Let's just let him back out now, unless he just wants to be in them, which is probably what it is.
He really likes.
Yeah.
No, he loves being in. He loves not being. He loves being in one of the big movie franchises and all. But why? That is not.
I wish Simon Pegg would eat a pie. That's all.
Yeah, he's looking real thin, isn't he?
Yes. I liked the.
I don't like to comment on stuff like that, anymore though, because it's like, what if there's something wrong and you've been like, fucking hell, eat a fucking pie, Simon. It turns out like he's been really poorly or something.
Yeah.
Like it's a concern that I always have now.
I liked the guy who played Gabriel. I liked him as a character. He just seemed like a dick.
Yeah, that's all he needed to be. He needed to be a bellend.
Great voice as well.
And just when he went, Ethan! At the end. Great stuff.
As basically a human avatar for something else, I think the avatar picked quite well.
I'm looking forward to the second part. I want to know about that history. I want to know who that girl was who just looked like Haley Atwell again.
Yeah, I do enjoy the fact that they've kind of they've kind of like essentially given where the IMF came from like a little bit of a backstory where you go, oh, all right, didn't know that. That seems fucking new.
Yeah, and how they recruit and all that kind of stuff. See, that was really interesting, but there just wasn't enough of that.
They
were too busy repeatedly showing the same action.
They're gonna. I think.
Whereas
they're gonna slow it down in part 2. Sorry, I'm defending it loads.
No, that's fine. But yeah, I just think if they'd concentrate a bit more on the story elements and the backstory that they were clearly hinting at, rather than just it being action, and it just felt really lightweight.
The thing is, I think it's going to be one of those ones where when you put them both together, it's probably going to be quite different. It did feel very much like we were watching part 1 of a 2-parter. But I really liked it. The more I've talked about it, the more I've thought about it, the higher it's gone up. It's still a 4.5 out of 5 for me, but then again, I'm really stingy with
fives.
With my 5s. Do you know what? I actually, like, to prove how stingy I am with 5s, do you know what the last new movie I gave a 5 star?
The Loft?
Go on.
I deserved that.
Would that get a 5?
No.
Get a fallout. Sorry.
No. Becky?
Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, a new movie.
That way was new.
New Moon.
Fucking Another Round.
Up.
Was the last
that was a
5
while ago.
New movie I gave a 5 out of 5.
What'd you give Maverick?
Yeah. 4.5.
Fuck's sake. All
I'm
right.
so fucking stingy. I haven't given a new movie 5 out of 5 in like fucking in. There is one new movie that I gave 5 out of 5 since Another Round, but I can't count it because it was the Rocky IV director's cut.
You need to watch Top Gun Maverick like another 3 times.
I probably do. You're right. I think it's definitely not shit.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely not shit from me. I know I've sounded really negative on it, but I think it's just because I was
Yeah.
expecting...
I think we need to go and watch it again.
I think I was expecting full Fallout, and I was disappointed. Yeah, but as a rating, I wasn't expecting it necessarily to be better than Fallout or anything like that, but I was hoping it might be keep the level up there.
Can I make a prediction?
Go on.
I think you might Age of Ultron on it after watching part 2.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone was quite neggy about Age of Ultron, but if you go back and rewatch it now, it's like a fucking hidden banger within that universe
Yeah.
because of all the shit that's happened since.
I really hope so.
I think it will. I also think once you've got over losing Becky Fergs,
Do you know what? And I said this to you when we came out. I just don't need another posh British chick being in stuff. Like, if it had been someone less charmless, if the character was written better. Hayley Atwell has no charm for me. There's no mystique to her. She's just a brunette girl.
She's got very much hottest girl in year 11
Yeah,
vibes.
she does. Yeah, Rachel Stevens from S Club 7 vibes.
No, she's a level above that.
Is she?
She's a lot of levels above that.
Nah.
Rachel Stevens wasn't even hot.
Tina was
You
the
know what I mean?
secret.
Like, the hype's there,
Yeah.
but
Sorry.
the hype's there for how hot she is. But really, she's fine. She's pretty, yeah, fine, yeah, but
I'm
she's
saying she's got hottest girl in year 11
Yeah.
vibes.
But and then you got Vanessa Kirby, and to be fair, Pom Clementieff, who, by the way, that shot of her when she rams those cars and she looks like she's enjoying it a little bit too much was wowee.
I really hope she's in Dead Reckoning Part 2 because she was. And we've not spoken about her, but she was a fucking.
She's
good
great,
character.
and she had a pulse at the end. So
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah, enjoyed Pom. Girl's
Yeah.
got some fucking abs on her,
yeah,
hasn't she?
yeah, she does.
Yeah,
And yeah, Vanessa Kirby, just looking like her beautiful ethereal self and just being.
She looks like she's from
Fine.
another fucking planet. She does. Like
She really does,
she's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Her and Anya Taylor-Joy are just here from another planet to take
Yeah.
over the world.
I do like the fact that somebody commented on that with Vanessa Kirby on the fact of how amazing she looks in it, and she just went, "It's a really good haircut."
It's the eyes.
and everyone's there going, "I mean,
It's
it's
more
more
than
than
that."
that, Vanessa."
It is good hair though. She has got good hair in these movies. That is another thing that also really fucking annoyed me. They can make a full fucking facial mask for her to look like Vanessa Kirby, but they can't get her some blue contacts.
Oh yeah.
Didn't spot that. Actually.
All right. Yeah.
Didn't spot that. Actually, fair play.
In the whole lead up to that section, I was like, yeah, but when she actually gets on the train, she'll have some blue contacts. But obviously, they're going to give her some blue. No blue contacts. And her own brother hasn't noticed that she now has brown eyes.
That wouldn't surprise me. He doesn't like the kind of guy who notices that.
But she looks so different.
I gotta say, sorry. Yeah.
No, go on.
Just, I very much enjoyed the running joke of people pulling at people's faces like they had masks on.
Sheer Wiggum just.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But then, to be fair, like the non-white guy, he stops at the airport. He's just immediately, yeah, no, sorry, my bad. Everybody else, he's like pulling at their face. Like, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, the more I talk about this, the more I like it. It's
Yeah.
not Fallout, it's not Rogue Nation for me, but it's a really fucking good movie.
I think it's just, and to use a phrase that you used earlier, Ian, it's the whiplash of it. Rogue Nation and Fallout are very serious and very, whereas this one's trying to be funny. It's got the stupid slapstick shit. It's got Shea Wiggum pulling at people's faces, which is great, but it's funny, and it's like it just. I don't know. It's just let the air out the balloon a little bit too
really
much
hope
for me.
in Dead Reckoning Part 2, Shea Wiggum has to put a face on.
Yeah.
I also, I will just say, there was no IMAX framing through the film. That report was right. I was checking a lot, and that was disappointing.
Well, you're going to have IMAX coming out your eyes in 2 weeks'
boy.
time. Our audience poll, definite shit 50%, touching cloth 17%, shit 11%. How many times did you vote, Becky?
I
And
said definitely not shit.
Geostorm, 22%.
22% for Geostorm.
Yeah.
It was fucking chaotic.
Geostorm seems a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
They need to dial down the repetitive action in the next one and just calm the fuck down.
Yeah, fair.
Should we do what we've been up to before we do our next
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Twin Stronger. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Hunter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs. Punter podcast, featuring two film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot. I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I've ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
What have you been up to, Ian?
Okay, so Donna and I watched, finally, it's taken a while, the first couple of episodes of Ryan Johnson's show, Poker Face. So this is on Sky Max in the UK, Peacock in the US, and this is the basically Natasha Lyonne does Columbo show. Quite enjoyed it. First episode definitely better than the second episode. First episode has Adrian Brody in it, being great. Second episode just doesn't quite feel as vital. Basically, Natasha Lyonne plays a waitress in a kind of like a dead end casino who has a talent for being able to tell when people are lying, like actively lying, and there's no real explanation for why. It's just like it's a thing that she has, and so she's kind of able to figure shit out. And in the first one, Adrian Brody plays the son of the guy who used to run the casino, who tries to get her in on a scam. And on the second one, you see a murder at the start, and then it's her basically figuring it out. And yeah, I mean, it feels very much like Universal going, hey, Ryan Johnson, you did Knives Out. Yes, you'd might like to make an episode like Murder of the Week show where you can just get one of your famous friends to be in one of the episodes along with Natasha Lyonne. Yes, okay, here you go. Yeah. But it's fun. Natasha Lyonne, good screen presence. She's a fun character. And yeah, they've had some good like twists and turns and whatnot, and they're fun. They're about an hour long. Maybe could do with them being a little bit shorter. But they're good so far. I think we'll watch the rest.
Did you watch this, Bex? Or was it something else you watched?
No, I watched that one where she keeps dying. I can't
Russian
remember what it's
Doll.
called.
Russian Dolls?
That's it. I watched some of it. I think I watched most of it, and then it was just like I stopped. I don't know why, because I was really enjoying it. I think it's because you wouldn't watch it with me. But I do like Natasha. I enjoy her as well. So,
mild recommend. It kind of slightly feels like it came and went a little bit when it came out in the US, and yeah, it's, I don't know. It's maybe not quite what it thinks it is. Slightly, it feels more disposable than I was expecting. But yeah, it's good. It's a decent enough time. Beyond that, I said I wasn't going to talk about Formula One anymore. So the only other film I fully watched, one of the best comedies of the 2010s, the interview. So, look, James Franco, horrible dude, not great. Jonah Hill, maybe unsurprisingly, seemingly joining his ranks this week.
I mean, yeah, that's one that surprised no one.
Yeah. Just slight tangent. The whole kind of like weaponizing like mental health therapy terms against a woman.
It's the thing is, because we were before the outside the Jonah Hill thing. We were chatting, weren't we, over WhatsApp about some of the segments from the roast thing.
Yes,
so we'll comment on that. Some of them are quite amusing. You know, Jonah Hill gets involved in a lot of these, and it's always amusing because when people take the piss out of like Seth Rogen on these things, he just finds it
legit
amusing.
Funny. Yeah.
Like he just thinks it's funny, and the same thing. Even Franco seems to find like them funny when they're talking about him. Everyone seems to laugh about it. Jonah Hill seems to laugh, but you can see that it is burning him inside. Yeah. And it does seem he does seem very much like he wants everyone to think he's really chill, and he's a really modern guy, and he's really chill, but also he's a spoiled little rich boy who wants everything to go his own way.
Does this mean we're not allowed to like those jump
So,
anymore?
We can still like the jump
which is a great circle back to the interview. So, James Franco, I think, gives one of the most fully formed comedic performances of recent memory in this for me. I think he is fully committed to being Dave Skylark. He is swinging for the fences with some of the shit that he's doing. But he's fully in. He's obviously having a really good time and vibing with Seth Rogen very well. And I'm so annoyed with James Franco for the fact that he ended up being James Franco. Like that, I think that's how I would put it. It's like I'm annoyed Woody Allen is Woody Allen. You know, like it's that kind of thing. He's brilliant in the interview. It just exactly my vibe for what I find funny. And Seth Rogen is a great straight man in it, but he still has his moments. Just having to shove the tube up his arse, and just like, oh yeah, it's in there deep. You know, it's childish, but it's funny. But it's also got some decent filmmaking from Rogen and Goldberg as well. Like, I really, really like the sequence where Kim gets blown up, and it's the slow motion stuff set to Katy Perry's Firework, which is a really important song in the course of the film. Yeah, I've watched the interview several times, and it always makes me laugh a lot.
That's the thing. I think I've only seen it, twice, and I think I need to give it another go, because I really enjoyed it both times I watched it. I think I maybe need to give it another go to put it into more of a rotation. It's like, because I was going to watch This Is the End, then realised I don't own This Is the End, but what do I own? The interview. Okay, I'm going to put the interview on. That's the thing, you see. This Is the End should be a movie that you can just watch on a streaming service that we're all paying for. But I don't believe you can. Yeah, quite. I'm going to get to This Is the End soon, but I'm like part way through a couple other films. But also the thing about Formula One is just the fact that you got qualifying and you've got a race 2 separate days, and if you watch like the pre and post coverage, it's several hours of those days. So, but I'm in, and I'll be watching the Hungarian Grand Prix because my boy Danny Ricciardo's back. I've said I was done, and I'm done. I'm sorry. Moving on. That was it for me this week. Cool. I'll go through mine, because Bex just had to nip off for a second, so I'll go through mine.
You can tell him that I threw a glass of water all over.
Yeah, you've thrown a glass of water, literally a full pint of water.
Solid.
Is what's happened there. So I'll do the ones that I watched without Becky, which is only... Actually, it's only one, so you're going to have to clean quickly.
It's a weird threat.
Clean.
In the first part of this week's dash cam.
Yeah, good.
On everywhere. It's so
It was a full pint, Rebecca. So I promised that Dashcam would be back, and I did. I watched Silver Linings Playbook, which doesn't have as much of Dash Mihawk in it as I remember in my brain there being in. Because let's face it, if Dash Mihawk's in something, he's your focus. And if he's not on screen, you're going, where the fuck's Dash? And you do spend a lot of time in Silver Linings Playbook going, where's Dash? But I was using as a good excuse to re-watch Silver Linings Playbook because I've not watched it in getting on for like a decade now because that's how long it's been since it came out. I remember really quite liking it. And it's an odd one, is Silver Linings Playbook, in the sense that it's... The way that it deals with mental health is both quite good in a way, but also a little bit not sure there on that one. I think it's very much David O. Russell has got away with the fact that the people he's got in these roles are really quite likeable actors. And that helps him out quite a lot in the fact that the performances are really good. Whereas I don't think the way that the story is told is that good. But, Jennifer Lawrence is fantastic in this film. Bradley Cooper is very, very good playing up against, and they bounce off each other really, really well. But you can... Was this she won Academy Award for, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell why. When she won Best... actually, yeah. You can absolutely tell why she won it for this. It's a really good performance that never intends to be sort of too overtly showy within itself there either. But yeah, I very much enjoyed rewatching it, but I could see why some people might have some sort of criticisms of its handling of mental health issues. Becky, before we do our joint ones, what have you been up to this week? Apart from throwing a glass of water on the floor.
There was a lot of water to mop up. I'm out of breath now. So, right. Imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. Twin Peaks and X-Files, right? They have a baby. And then Stephen King and Silent Hill have a baby. And then those babies grow up.
Yeah.
And then they have a baby.
Yeah.
And they call it Alan. Alan Wake. That's what I've been doing.
That's great. Yep.
Thanks. Yeah, slept on this a bit, didn't I? Sorry, Ian. You did try and tell me. It's because it came up on the PlayStation Plus. Thing this week, and I was like, oh, that's that one that Ian keeps recommending that I should play and that I'd really like. And lo and behold,
It's the most Becky game ever created.
it's like someone went into my brain and then made a game based on the things that I like. Honestly, I can't get enough of it. I'm on the final chapter, and I just keep like, I might restart this episode because like I feel like I could have done better in that section because I just don't want it to.
Doesn't
end.
it start with like a voiceover of like basically Twin Peaks land with Stephen King once said? Blah, 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 blah. I mean,
Yeah, it's from that moment I was like, shit, there's gonna be some late nights in my future.
and Bex, a question. Alan Wake 2 is out in October and it's on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles only and PC. Is it time?
It might be time. Yeah, it might be. If it's as good as this one, and if it's in keeping, because like The Last of Us was like, I'm really burnt by The Last of Us 2, because it's like, how can they make a sequel? So boring. Of that game.
So the creative director of like the whole studio, Sam Lake, has said that like Alan Wake 2's been like a passion project for years. He's basically said it's Alan Wake but more survival horror.
Okay.
Which again just feels incredibly Becky. With the fact as well that the Silent Hill 2 remake might be out towards the end of the year.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Is the closer to the end of the year we've got the reboots of the Silent Hill games to come. We've got the new Silent Hill game to come, and if this is going to be PS5 only, then might have to pull the trigger. Because the thing is, we had this whole conversation, didn't we, with like a bit back, and I was kind of thinking, do you know what? Yeah, I've just played through. What did I play? Oh, I've been playing those like choose your own adventure games that we were talking about.
Dark Pictures.
That's it. Yeah, and I was really, really enjoying them. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna take the plunge. I'm gonna play The Last of Us 2, and I, as a completionist, really struggle to start something new if I've not finished something, and because I was really not enjoying The Last of Us 2, I didn't want to finish it, but because I hadn't finished it, I couldn't play anything else.
Yeah.
You know, just like in my brain. So, when this came up on PlayStation Plus, I was like, yep, download it. And I said to you, didn't I, fucking hell, I'm going to have to finish The Last of Us 2 so I can play Alan Wake, and you were like, why? And it just made me think,
why?
well, yeah, actually, why? So I think I'm just going to give up on The Last of Us 2 and just in my brain view The Last of Us as just a single game franchise.
And just in terms of Alan Wake, for those who don't know, Bex, what is the plot of Alan Wake? Let's just really emphasise just how Becky-ass a game this is. Well, so I don't know how it finishes, so I don't know what the upshot of it is all going to be. But he is a writer who sort of, I really love Stephen King, which, you know, fair play to him. And he goes on holiday with his wife, but she's actually tricked him. She wants him to see this therapist that like deals with writer's block, which again, very recurring Stephen King kind of theme is that, isn't it? But then she goes missing, and then he keeps having visions of like the darkness is taking over the town, and these men that are possessed by darkness keep trying to attack him because the dark entity is trying to stop him from saving his wife. But has she actually died and he's just gone mad because the hospital man tells him that he has? And it's all very mysterious. And yeah, one of your main weapons is a flashlight, which is great. The only thing that does annoy me about it is every time the episode changes, you start the new episode with no fucking weapons. So you're going around like, yeah, I've got all these flares and these flashbangs, they're going to create loads of light, and then I'll be basically invincible, and then you start, it's like, great, I haven't got a fucking torch now. And have you been watching the Nightfalls TV shows, or...? Yeah, it's so good. Listening to all the radio stuff, watching all the TV shows. I would totally watch Nightfalls. Did you start playing Control at all? I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So this is the same studio, okay. And there's DLC for Control that's called AWE, which stands for something in Control, but also could stand for Alan Wake event. And like he's in some of the DLC for Control, so it's the same universe. After you finish Alan Wake, I kind of feel like you should give Control another crack.
I think the problem with Control that I had was I got real confused as to what the fuck I was supposed to be doing. Like, it's very...
It's less linear than Alan Wake is. That's fair.
And I struggle with non-linear game structures.
Yeah, all right, that's fair enough. But YouTube some Alan Wake 2 because there's been some kind of like some gameplay like clips and like the developers like talking about the making of it and stuff like that. And I feel like you'll vibe with it. Like you can play you play as two different characters in it, and it's like you play as Alan Wake, who's actually I won't say what's happening with him, but you also play this FBI agent who is investigating a series of ritualistic murders. And there is one bit where she's like investigating this house, and then this fucking dude in like a fucking goat mask just like bursts through the wall or some shit, and you've got to like try and defend yourself against him. And it feels like it's Alan Wake meets Resident Evil. Which I like is just like ding ding ding, Becky-ass game version 2, you know. So
is Alan Wake as the baby of all of the things that I mentioned previously? Is that now having a baby with the baby of True Detective and Resident Evil?
Basically, yeah.
Nice. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch. I'll finish the game first, just in case it's spoiled.
I would. I nearly said something and I stopped myself. So yeah, get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, I am on the final chapter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's honestly, genuinely, really fucking good. Like I've 3:30 was it? I came to bed last night.
That is why I don't play video games. 3:30.
I'll do that. Yeah, but then we had today off, so the latest I've gone to bed on a school night, so when I'm at work the next day, has been 2:30. To be fair, so it's still quite late. But the thing is, I'll do this for like a week, complete the game, and then I'll have a little bit of a break before I start anything else. So that's how I do it. That's how I have to do it. I completely lose track of time.
Yeah.
You came down You came down the other day, didn't you, from upstairs, and you were like, right, I'll go start dinner then, I guess. And I was like, oh, well, just give me a minute. Like, I'll come and help you. And you went, Becky, it's like after 8. I've been sat here for an hour. Oh, I did not realise.
You just sat in the dining room waiting for your dinner, Mark.
No. Sat in the living room with me.
I just thought you had your knife and fork ready. I'm just like, nom, I'm ready to eat.
But yeah, we'd planned to make it together, and I think he was waiting for me to like, go, all right, well, I've reached the checkpoint now. I'll stop and we'll go make dinner, and I just didn't do that.
So what have we watched together, Bex?
Watched some stuff.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched. We've talked about this quite a lot, so we don't need to talk about it anymore. We really watched Dirty Dancing, didn't we?
Yeah, I had a real stressful day, didn't I? And I was just like, can I get some wine and can we watch Dirty Dancing? And you were like, yes.
Yes, so what's that? Then we also watched, as part of the dash cam, didn't we?
Yeah.
We watched Pandorum.
Yeah.
Everyone's favourite.
Yeah. What did you think to Pandorum on a rewatch, Becky?
Do you know what? I didn't. So I've been wanting to rewatch this for quite a while, and I was convinced that it turns out that Ben Foster's the baddie, and I think that's maybe just me typecasting.
No, that is just you definitely typecasting the fact that it's Ben Foster, so he must be a baddie.
Yeah. It's. Do you know what? It's very good. It is very good. I said to you as well, though, didn't I, before we watched it, when the thing came up, I was like, oh yeah, this was from that time period where all front covers had to have a hint of green, so it looked like weird. It might be Matrix related.
Yeah. And
the girl on the cover as well, they've shot her as much so she looks like Carrie-Anne Moss as possible, haven't they? But yeah, really fucking good. I like the whole kind of gradually fading amnesia trope.
Yeah.
It's good.
everything starts coming back. I did enjoy rewatching it. I do think it's a little bit too long.
You think everything's too long, that you've got no attention span.
No, just a genre film should be 95 minutes, not 105 minutes. Thus proved with The Mask that we also rewatched.
Yeah, what triggered this? Oh, hang on. Where was I? And you played music. I was right. So yeah, so you'd connected your.
I have
a shower speaker.
I have a shower speaker because I like to listen to podcasts while I'm in the shower.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, just before you go in the shower, can I just go to the bathroom? Yeah, that's fine. I'm sat, doing stuff, and then Cuban fucking Pete starts playing out of the speaker.
I just couldn't think. I realised the speaker was still connected. I thought, what can I play that's just going to be random?
Yeah. And then, and then I was like, do you know what? I could actually really rewatch The Mask.
Yeah, so we watched it on Sunday afternoon, didn't we? It's the most Sunday afternoon of films you can watch.
It was the Sunday afternoonist movie to ever Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great, it's The Mask.
It is really good fun.
It still remains insane, the 18 months that Jim Carrey had between Ace Ventura, Pet Detective coming out, and Dumb and Dumber. Not even that, I think it was about 6 months actually. Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all in the space of a year.
I've still never seen Dumb and Dumber.
What?
No. It just really doesn't appeal to me. I think the trailer's got quite a lot of toilet humour in it, and it's not my bag at all.
I think you should watch it because I think you might quite like it.
Yeah.
And then we also rewatched.
I don't know what triggered this either. The Nice Guys. Probably all the Ryan Goslinginess of the current mood.
Yeah, and I'm always up for rewatching The Nice Guys. It still pains me that so many people love this movie, but just not enough people went to see it at the cinema.
Yeah.
That we don't have at least another one or two. I think we still have another one on the way of these movies. I still do think that at some point in the next 5 years, we're going to end up just randomly getting another one. One of those ones where fucking Gosling and Crowe just go, fuck it, let's just do it for next to now. Yeah. But it's just to write a neo-noir buddy action movie around the suppression of a catalytic converter.
Yeah.
It's just such a Shane Black thing to do.
I think fun. I said this to you the other day, didn't I? Fun noir might be one of my favourite film genres.
Yeah, and it's Gosling doing his brand of kind of doofus.
Yeah.
Of that, it's.
Thing is though, now, and no disrespect to ugly guys, but if an ugly guy was behaving the way that Gosling behaves in this, you'd be like, oh, what a fucking doofus. But Ryan Gosling does it, and it's like, oh, you.
But I think there's an element of that. I think it's as much the fact that him and Russell Crowe have a great chemistry together there, but it's the fact that you keep expecting things to really work out and for him to end up actually being really good at it, and he's kind of just not. He continually remains being just a little bit not great, but Russell Crowe's character is really quite good at it.
Yeah.
And then you still get towards the end, and you're thinking, oh, well, he's obviously, it's changed or anything like that, and it just hasn't. It's still the same. He's just more dragged Russell Crowe down to his level.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute. It's a really good looking movie. It's just we should have more of these. We really should.
It manages to be fun, but also have quite a clever, twisty plot as well.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you'll get one or the other, but together, it's just fucking cinema gold.
It's the every time Chet gets mentioned, it's like fucking Chet.
Yeah, and I actually think is it Angourie Rice or something that plays his daughter?
Yeah.
I think she's really good in it as well. I don't like children generally.
No.
But I think she's really good in it.
So
that's not just in films either. That's just generally.
So moving on from one Ty Simpkins film to another one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the kid. That's not, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Insidious, The Red Door is the 5th Insidious movie. This one's directed by Patrick Wilson. I believe we predicted that on the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair.
That he'd end up directing the next one, and he did. Written by Scott Teems, with a story by Lee Winnell. Stars Ty Simpkins, Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne turns up for it for like a scene, and other people are there.
She's in it for more than a scene. She's in that whole
scenes,
section at the
two
end.
scenes, maybe? She's not in it a lot. No. So what's it about? Let's have a look. Insidious 5. I mean, it is literally called on IMDb Insidious 5 rather than Insidious The Red Door. The Lamberts must go deeper into the further than ever before to put their demons to rest once and for all.
No.
Not even what it's about.
No, not even slightly.
No. So, Dalton is now an edgy artist kid, and he's gone to college, hasn't he? And he draws a door, and what would you have it? Gets him back at the further, and he starts remembering shit. Things happen. Someone gets kicked in the dick. Ian, because Ian's not spoken for a while. Ian, what did you think to Insidious, The Red Door?
I think it's lovely that people like Patrick Wilson and they want to help Patrick Wilson by being in a Patrick Wilson film.
He seems like a good guy.
He seems like a good guy. Rose Byrne is only doing Insidious 5 because it's being directed by her friend. Yeah. Which is great. I thought it was interesting. A lot of horror films deal with, as Jamie Lee Curtis says, trauma. And I thought that the way that they've pivoted this from being scary to being a drama about a family dealing with repressed shit was interesting. I'm not going to say it was a banger at all, and it could have done with actually being scary, but it was kind of a more interesting film than I thought it was going to be, and it kind of made sense why Patrick Wilson wanted to direct it. Apparently, like in the making of it, like Jason Blum was like, "No, mate, this needs to be scarier," and they did reshoots to kind of like add a couple of sequences, and I'm kind of thinking like, if you take a couple of sequences out of this film, it is barely a horror film.
Yeah, it is more a mental health
drama.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting.
The better element.
It was interesting that it was obviously more concerned with that. Also, I like the fact that it just painted going to a liberal arts college as just like, you don't want to be there. Who the fuck wants to be there? No fucker. I don't know. Your teacher like slags you off and makes you quit the first day because you have a particular style she doesn't vibe with. I felt very sorry for that guy. It looks too real.
Yeah, but if he'd just ripped his picture up, it'd have been fine.
But it's not like she's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like you work really hard to get to that place, and your teacher's like, "Fuck you! I don't like your work." Oh, but I like your work. You've drawn a picture of a face. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not really making sense. I liked Insidious: The Red Door more than I thought I was going to. Patrick Wilson, little bit one note. There's a little bit too much shit going on in the background that you then realise is happening in the background, and then the thing happens. And also thought it was funny that the way he displayed text messages was the person on the left, and then me, and then their message, his message, and it was like, you don't need to say me. We get it. That's you. That's Insidious: The Red Door. What did you guys think?
What do you think, Bex?
Just on the mobile phone bit where he's in the car and he's texting Dalton, I did quite that. What I like about them, I think, especially 1, 2, and this one, is they all feel like real humans. I think
because they're connected out. The middle two.
yeah, 3 and 4 are they're connected to the Lynch cinematic universe.
They're not the
but
Lamberts.
Not the Lambert bit. Apart from some anyway. But yeah, they feel like real humans, and Patrick Wilson's reaction when he has the 3 dots and then they go away is so fucking relatable. When you're waiting for a message from somebody and you've got 3 dots and it's like...
But it's both... It's believable, but then also you've got that thing coming towards the car in the background.
Yeah.
And I really liked how it was like this just... Yeah, man, when you're waiting for someone to send a text, like that kind of vibe, but then with the what's going to happen in the background, that was cracking.
Yeah. I loved this. So we saw Mission Impossible the night before we saw Insidious, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, to call back to what we were saying, I was quite disappointed with Mission Impossible. Really liked it, but quite disappointed. So with this, I was a bit like, shit, am I going to have, like, 2 where I'm quite disappointed? What if Insidious isn't good? And I'm just really fucking glad I enjoyed it as much as I did. I think the father-son kind of stuff, like, you take all the further stuff out of the equation, you know, that does happen. Marriages break down, people drift apart, fathers and sons drift apart. Like, you could take all the supernatural shit and it's just a very human drama movie. But that ain't why it's happening. And it's just... I just think it's really good. By way of kind of... Like, from an outsider's looking in's point of view, no one's going to view what's happened to that family as weird.
Yeah.
The development of his picture as well, of the door, as it goes on, really enjoyed that. It's a door, then it's a door that's red, then it's a door that's red, and there's a weird lumpy face in front of it. And that lumpy face gradually becomes... That
realisation that it's Patrick Wilson, and the fact that you kind of twig onto that, but like quite quickly after they do as well, but it's almost like you kind of realise almost like the same time, or at least I did. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, I did, and it's obviously... It's a representation of him obviously gradually remembering, because his trigger has been this teacher getting him to kind of delve into his subconscious and stuff like that, whereas Patrick Wilson's trigger is getting fucked up by an MRI machine, and they're both kind of gradually remembering separately, and I loved it. I just really liked it.
Good.
Could have done with some more further stuff, and I could have done with some more creepiness. I think the first 2, well, all 4 of the previous ones do the further stuff really well, and you get some really good creepy imagery from that, whereas I don't think you get as much of that in this one.
No, and I think it's quite... what you were saying before, I didn't know that actually reshoots, because it wasn't kind of horror-y enough for the franchise. That kind of makes sense. The movie that Patrick Wilson's made, he isn't interested in the further. Like, ow. And I'm kind of like that, because I'm not anymore. There's another 4 movies where they're in the further.
I know, but that is kind of what links them all.
That's fine, but I think I'd about the inappropriate amount of the further, maybe even too much. Because there's only so much walking around in mist and seeing shit jumping out.
No, but it's not just that, is it? It's other people that are also trapped in the further,
that's fine,
and then they're like tableaus and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just not... I quite like the building blocks of it. And everything tying together. I think they've done this quite well in the Insidious movies, where they've gone back to a previous movie and had something that's happened in there and gone, right, how do we now fit this into here? So that then links in with this story.
I love how interlinked they are.
Yeah.
It's just like throwing Easter eggs at you.
Yeah.
I love it. I liked the fact that when Dalton's in the further and Alex? what's she called? Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Is sat with him, and obviously like because he's an empty vessel, and they're coming for him, and the some of the stuff that's coming from the further is the pets from chapter 3.
All right.
So yeah, like
That's interesting.
That was good.
Obviously, I do remember that from Insidious 3, but yeah, I've watched it for a while.
I've watched them quite recently.
Yeah. I had a better time with it than I was expecting. It's too long.
Yeah.
It's not even that long. It's about an hour 45.
I don't agree with you on.
I think you can cut 10 minutes out of it. It'll be a tight.
Yeah,
It should be longer.
yeah. I don't know. I'm with Mark on that one, but Bex, I mean, like it's just it's your vibe, innit? You could wallow in it, and that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it would have to be longer with the right stuff. I think if it was longer, but it was adding scary stuff, that would be what it would need, not more soul-searching stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I also really like the fact that because it is so far removed from the first ones, the kids are the same actors from the first ones.
Yeah, it seemed like they all were. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. You know, and I just think that's really like, again, they feel there's less, there's nothing to take you out of it. They feel like the same family from the first one because they fucking all are.
Yeah, I like the fact that I the fact that Ty Simpkins appears to actually be a good actor as a grown up.
Yeah,
There is a worry sometimes where child actors can actually be a little bit not that great as grown ups.
they're real lucky he hasn't grown up ugly as well.
Yeah,
Because that's always a risk.
you know, he's a good looking man, isn't he?
It's got a very impressive hairline.
It's very good hair. Yeah.
I don't know. He could have stood to have his hair cut, as far as I'm concerned.
Fucking hippie.
Yeah, I do sound like a corporate stooge. Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
So I'm definitely not shitting it. I got a good enough time with it.
Yeah, definitely not shit. Thought it was solid.
Yeah, definitely not shit from me. Loved it.
Our audience poll, definitely not shit 25%, shit 25%, and Geostorm 50%.
Well, fuck y'all.
So, Ian, do we have any feedback?
We do. And bless them, because we never say filmbastards@gmail.com anymore. And yet. So, first off, let's have a voicemail from a Mr. Noel Meller.
Hello, film bastards. It's Noel here, your occasional comic book and transforming robot correspondent. I just wanted to send you a quick note, as this is episode 500 of the podcast. So first and foremost, congratulations. You did it against all the odds. I think the concept of a straight-to-streaming sequel to 35mm Heroes, is that fair? I think that was always a difficult sell, but you did it, you managed it. I think particularly after that show, 35mm Heroes ended in such controversy as well. I mean, you know, I think they all said that at that point Ian Loring was finished and would never work in podcasting again. And it's all credit to you, Mark. You came in, you were brave enough to agree to work with him and put all of those allegations aside. And I think the results have spoken for themselves. The podcast started strong as Dude and a Monkey. And then I think getting Becky in and rebranding, you're welcome, Film Bastards, I think that was a great move. It's added a whole new dynamic to the show, and it's great to have seen that develop from the beginning, and occasionally be a part of it as well, whether that's live or an in-person at different things, or just, you know, old school on Skype. So yeah, that's been great to see. So all joking aside, congratulations. You are still one of my favourite podcasts. You make that cut of being on the list of podcasts that I'm happy to see new downloads arrive in my app. You're not one of the ones that I put on at night to fall asleep to. I do look forward to every episode, and I do look forward to getting insight on films that I either will see or won't see, or films where I can be convinced either way. You are the guys that I go to for that. So yeah, congratulations, keep up the good work, and here's to another 500, as they say.
And that was Noel. Now, Noel brought up allegations from my past. And it's amazing how you can delete things from the internet. Like, I mean, it's really hard. But we've managed to do that. But all I will say is that monkey was like that when I got there.
Everything was legal.
I don't know what happened before. I don't know what happened after. I opened the door. It was there. I closed the door. Nothing else needs to be said.
I never believed them ever.
No.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that, Noel. Always nice to get nice words.
Yeah, absolutely. We have written feedback from actually a few people, which is really, really nice. And Noel, don't talk about that incident again. Andrew Jones. Salutations and congratulations, Dude, Monkey, and Sanity, in brackets, Bex. 500 bloody episodes. How many years are we talking here? A decade? It's a scary passage of time, ain't it? Jacob Tremblay probably couldn't even say more than a few words when you began. Jesus Christ. All these years, and you've seen mega highs, ultra lows, and multiple times witnessed the death of cinema, and yet you've still got new releases to discuss on a near weekly basis. What resonates most to me as a listener is how outside the bullshit you are, yet still widely aware of what matters and what's just noise. Having spent so long in the landscape of a metropolitan community, the London film critic bubble, it was always healthy to check in on what actually resonates beyond LA, London, New York, and the stupid buzz. To hear from you folk when news drops or when a film finally comes out isn't as the best film ever, as a festival crowd had screamed whilst in their sunny locales getting freebies from outlets or distributors. In the time since, losing touch of everything, and during the times when nobody could be together in person, keeping tabs on the outside world, and keeping up with friends became easy through Film Bastards. Your togetherness in a time when we were all apart was a lifeline. Your humour and detailed contemplations on cinema, not from a snobbish perspective, but from an understanding as human, the way something feels more so than how it's meant to be, engaged me more so than any other film discussion, podcast, show, magazine. I do not listen or read any film opinions beyond casual letterbox scrolling of friends in this podcast, which says a damn lot. May you spend more lifetime together talking cinema and art and culture and how it impacts your lives and how your lives impact what you choose to watch. That's the flow of the universe through us all, and discussing it every week remains the most exciting hit of dopamine in my podcast feeds. Thank you for everything and congratulations on a tremendous milestone. May Digimon Honsune and Journey Smollett smile upon thee this day. All the love and respect, your ardent fan, Andrew. Bloody lovely, Andrew. Thank you for that.
Yeah, was. I think, just very quick before we go to the next one, what I will say is I think genuinely, we've had a lot of highlights of the podcast over the first 500 episodes and the first 11 years getting on to. But I think the amount of sort of, when we've caught up with people post like the past couple of years and the amount of kind of feedback we've had over it, that those couple of years where everything was a little bit weird, the amount of people that have come to us and said, you know, having the podcast on a weekly basis with the way that you guys dealt with it was a bit of comfort and a bit of a lifeline for that, especially people who were isolating on their own as bits there. You know, we were, between the three of us, we were lucky enough to be isolating with family around us. There was people who didn't have that, and that was always like, right, that's actually, you know, in a weird way, was quite an important thing. That we had, just knowing that you helped people through something that was a really fucking tough time for people. He's quite hearty for that.
Yeah. Well, I think because we could have just kept it pro and only spoken about movies, but I think we did talk about the world at large, and I think
that a little therapy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was great. I think having people listening to that and going, yeah, do you know what? There is this small trivial thing, but a lot of the time it's the whole. When there's anything like entertainment or anything like that built around, I always go back to a weird like Jurgen Klopp quote, and it's that he says about football that football is the most important unimportant thing in the world to him. It's like it's actually not that important, but it really fucking is. And there's elements of that to what we do.
Just to that email's just reminded me. I did want to mention when we were doing the Insidious review. You know, it is obviously with the youth of today and their short attention spans, it is easy to kind of predict the death of cinema as a medium. And I did want to mention as part of the Insidious thing, our screening was fucking full,
packed,
of kids, not kids, teenagers, and it sat there as old people surrounded by a bunch of teenagers, especially for something like a horror movie.
We probably were the oldest people.
Oh yeah, easily, yeah. It's easy to go, shit, this is going to be a fucking chaotic screening. But they were all, with the exception of one girl who started sort of talking to the person sat next to her towards the end, they were all very well behaved. And it was just really nice to see, like, the next generation kind of packing out this cinema screening. It actually made me feel kind of like quite emotional. Like,
well, unsurprisingly, for people who go to the cinema a lot, the worst people in a cinema nowadays are blonde women over the age of 60.
Yeah.
And like further
entitled.
Further from that, I booked my Oppenheimer ticket yesterday. I'm unable to go opening night now because Donna is going to a preview night of the new Secret Cinema, which is fucking bananas.
I do love the irony of that.
Yeah. Donna is going to Birmingham with a few of her friends for a Greece Secret Cinema.
Oh, nice.
And it cost fuck all. So like because it's a preview night. And yeah, fair play. So I'm going 11:20 on the Saturday. It comes like the weekend. It comes out morning, and I found it hard to get a decent seat at 11:20 in the morning. And yeah, okay, that film's 3 hours long, but between Oppenheimer and Barbie, cinemas are going to be fucking eating good next weekend. What a treat that is. So
yeah, we can't do opening night for Oppenheimer either, can we? We're having to work it out. I'm going to late, so I don't finish work till 9 o'clock. And because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah. I'm going to see Barbie twice.
Yes, you are going to see Barbie twice.
Are you really?
Yeah, friends asked me to go see it. Guessing it's not her husband's bag.
Did you guys see that like little clippy trailery thing they put out? Just Ken.
I've not watched it. I am now at the point where I don't want to watch any more Barbie things because the more I watch, the more it's worrying.
Yeah.
Is it the one where he's in the hospital?
No, it's a song.
Have you seen that one?
Oh, I've seen the trailer where he's just like, "Get me a doctor, I'm a doctor." It's like, no, a doctor's like that, or
I don't know. It's just the one where he's like, "In the time we were talking, you're actually now completely healed."
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's a new cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a good feeling about Barbie. I don't have a good feeling about the fact that Greta Gerwig is apparently next directing 2 Narnia films for Netflix.
Oh no, the Baumbach Gerwig household love taking that sweet Netflix cash, and why
that
not?
can get in the fucking bin. Narnia.
Yeah, I just fucking posh British kids fucking twatting around. Nope.
But
more feedback.
Anyway, Andrew, thank you for that. That was a really lovely email. Thank you. Rick Kidd. Hi, folks.
He has got a question as well.
Okay, we'll do the email then. The question. Yeah.
Yeah, do the email and the question.
Hi, folks. Hope you're well. 500 shows. That's seriously impressive. Not forgetting all the Patreon shows too. Very few podcasts have lasted as long or have been as regular. You're fucking right, Rick. And we demand more respect. A lot has happened in that time. Ian became a father. Yeah, that's true. Fucking hell.
Yep.
She's 10 in December. He also committed to physical media and then committed to digital media and vice versa about 100 times, although I think that seems to have settled down. And none of you fuckers really know which way I've landed. Mark has continually shown his dedication to watching and rewatching bad films, and Becky has consistently told him he's an idiot for doing so. Good.
You are an idiot.
He is an idiot. He's our idiot.
Yeah.
The podcast has evolved from being one dude with his monkey in the Dude and the Monkey days, thanks, to the current trio of bastards in the Film Bastards era. We, the bastards in the audience, have come through a global pandemic together. It's been a lot of laughs, and here's to 500 more. Thanks for all the fun, Rick. Rick, you are a gent and a scholar. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. His question was, if you were putting on a Film Bastards 500 Film Festival, what 3 films would you each contribute to the programme?
Christ.
These could be your favourites, films you want everyone to see, or just complementary to the other selections. Free feel to go wild.
Oh, God. All right, Sunshine.
Can I go first?
Sorry.
Yeah, we can go first.
Sorry, Bex, go on. Yes, please.
They Live.
They Live.
Blade Runner.
So we've got They Live, Blade Runner, Sunshine.
They Live, Blade Runner, Willy's Wonderland.
And Willy's Wonderland's your midnight movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That might have to go into my top 10, you know. Like, if I'm actually honest with myself, that might have to go in my top 10 movies.
Popstar Never Stopping.
Oh, nice.
And then you got to throw out a classic, haven't you? I feel like one of them has to be a classic.
Yeah.
It's just no, that's a boring choice because it's like one of my favourite films as well. Blowout.
Ooh,
Fair.
that's good.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
What are yours?
Blowout. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
What are mine? I mean, Hot Tub Time Machine has to be one of them.
Yeah.
But it'll be in the hot tub screen.
In the
Yeah.
everybody in the same hot tub, yeah.
No, just loads. Just like little booths that are just basically.
Nah, everybody in the same hot tub, just one big hot tub.
Around. Yeah, so Hot Tub Time Machine, but in the hot tub
Film
screen.
Viewer soup.
Yeah.
Num 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 num.
And then for my kind of serious one,
Okay.
it's going to be True Romance.
Fair. Super serious.
And then my kind of like midnight or 2 a.m. movie. If yours having Willy's Wonderland,
Yeah.
and Ian's having Popstars Never Stopping. Mine's going to be Purple Rain.
Oh fuck!
Nice. I would go to that festival.
Yeah, I would as well. Yeah, so there we go. Do we have any more feedback, Ian? Or is
Yeah,
that-
we do. We
that
got
fucking
2
hell.
more, baby.
Nice.
So, John Anderson. Hi guys, I wanted to congratulate you all on reaching your 500th episode. I've listened since the very beginning and greatly enjoy every episode. I can honestly say it feels like listening to friends of mine, and you've been a companion in good and bad times in my life. Here's the next 500. All the best, John Anderson at LynotJohnAFC. John, thank you very much, bud.
Thank you very much,
What
John.
a treat.
Thank you.
What a treat. And lastly, Restrepo! Jordan McGrath. And he's got some questions. 500 eps, guys. That's some going. Congrats. Can't really say more than well done. It's something to be proud of, and keep it up. You can say more, Jord. We're friends. Fucker. I need you guys weekly 150-minute stream of consciousness to help with my... Oh, no. Well, he said conciseness. 150-minute stream of conciseness to help with my own sanity. I think he means consciousness, because like 150 minutes of conciseness feels... Yeah. Sorry, George. Couple of questions for the show. A couple would be 2, not the 3 you have listed here. Sorry, that was... Sorry.
George.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, George.
Calling out his spelling, calling out his wording.
Restrepoing
him.
Right. When you guys hit the 1,000 ep mark, because you will, do you think podcasting will look different than it does now?
For us, probably not.
Yeah, everyone else will be using some like fancy shit, and we'll still just be sat
Yeah.
using Skype.
We'll be the last podcast that fucking isn't generated by AI.
Yeah.
I'll have an Apple Vision headset on, just going, guys, come on, like get your headsets on, and you two will be like, we don't have them.
yeah, probably.
Definitely. And we'll all be broadcasting from like bunkers under the ground because AI will have taken over the surface.
Yeah. And this week's sponsor is Skynet.
We'd like to
That's sweet Skynet.
once again welcome our overlords.
Yeah.
Okay, second question. Within the time you've been involved in the film discussion / criticism scene, is there anything you'd have liked to do that you never did, or something that you would have done differently?
I would like to have gone to one of the like big kind of like overseas film festivals.
Yeah. Which one?
Pardon?
Which one?
Probably Southwest.
South by Southwest.
Yeah,
that
or
would probably be mine as
Tribeca.
well.
I would like to have done Cannes. It just seems a little bit.
Circle jerky.
Yeah. But I'd like to have done something.
I'd like
like
to go to fucking LFF. I've never been to that.
Yeah.
The only film festival I've ever been to is that Grimfest one that Noel helped put on.
I'd like to have done something like that. In terms of anything different,
I did get Best Director at that.
you
though.
did get Best Director
Yeah.
for that, yeah.
I've still got that.
Yeah, you do.
It's in our kitchen cupboard.
Is it really?
It actually
genuinely
is,
is, yeah.
I'll send you a picture later.
Sake.
Do you know what? I made a really good film with Amer though.
Yeah, you did make a really good film.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you accepted that at your awards as well and went up to collect it.
I did, yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know that, it was at Grimfest where they did the awards and Amer won Best Director, but obviously the directors for Amer weren't there.
You know who was though?
So
guy.
Noel suggested that you go up and collect
No,
it.
it was because I won a competition
You
for
won
the
a-
most check-ins.
Yeah, that was it.
Never got my Walking Dead graphic novels either.
I think you did.
No, I don't think I did.
I think you did. Fair certain we did.
I would still have them.
Yeah, I think we do.
But yeah, so the winner got to go and accept the Best Director award.
Yeah, you give a speech.
So, yeah.
Is there anything you'd have done different here?
I don't know. I don't think so, because all roads lead to now when I'm perfectly happy where I am. So, you know, which is I don't know, it's a nice way of looking at it. I don't know. The thing is, a lot of people at film festivals are fucking twats. Like, there's a lot. I suppose if anything, maybe I kind of wish I realised early on that, like a lot of the world, there's a lot of people in the film liking community who are bellends, and realising that at an earlier point would have been great. I'm glad, you know, talking earlier on about like deciding not to be a film, like try to be a film critic. I'm glad. Because there's a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, there's a few people I met in my Eat, Sleep, Live film times who were twats. And I wouldn't like to be like them. Like, I'm perfectly happy where we are. I really, really like where we're at, where we've never had amazing success. And the reason why we do this is because we like talking to each other. And if other people want to listen to that's great. I'm really, really very happy with my life right now, and I don't think I would have really chosen a single different thing. To be fair, I mean, even though LFF last year, a lot of the time I was by myself because I didn't know a lot of people, but the people that I did spend time with, I really fucking treasured that time. I had a catch up with Andrew Jones. I had a catch up with listener of the show, John. Lovely dude. Hi, John. And I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, I had a weird thing at work about a month or so ago, where one of the girls that worked with me, she at uni, she does like prop making, and so she'd said that she'd been making like this prosthetic leg thing, this like severed leg thing, as like part of her dissertation was this severed leg thing, and she sort of went, "Oh, you know, Alan, don't you?" And I was like, "Alan, I know Alan," and she's like, "Alan." I was like, maybe. She's like, he works with like Dominic Brunt, does all like the makeup effects on his films. Like, I do know Alan, yeah. Didn't know he was called Alan though. She's like, but I do know him. I know who you mean. I didn't know he was called Alan.
Fair.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, he listens to your podcast." I was like, "All right, so hi Alan, by the way." And I was like, "Oh, fucking that's weird." And she was talking about the podcast. I was like, "That's kind of thrown me a little bit."
But I mean, it's and yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a bit deep here, but it's like all the choices I made up until the time Lottie was born, I wouldn't change well, I suppose if at the time Lottie was conceived, I suppose I wouldn't change a bit of that, because that's, you know, it's like in Watchmen where like Dr. Manhattan realizes that like she was a miracle because like what's her name was a miracle because she was only like, it was a 1 in like a whatever billion chance that she would be there, and it's almost like, you know, I don't know, I don't want to get too graphic or anything, but you know, any of my choices up in my life up to the point that Lottie was conceived would likely mean that Lottie would not be here. There might be another kid here, but it wouldn't be Lottie. Lottie's here. She's the best. She's a challenge, occasionally a pain in the bum, but she's Lottie and she's my daughter. So, like, all of my film critic aspirations came before that point. So I don't regret any of that shit because she's here. You know, and then after that, it's all been, you know, it's all been the podcast. You know, so yeah, sorry, that's where, and you know, deeply, that's why I mean that I don't regret that stuff, because I wouldn't have my family. I wouldn't have this family. And it's the only family I want. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah, okay, I understand. I never had aspirations to do film critics as a job.
Takes the fun out of it. It's like when you start doing, oh, I really love this hobby, I'm gonna pursue it as a career, and then you end up hating it.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think I would have hated it. So there you go. Yeah. Anyway.
Was there a third?
Yeah, you did have a
question
third question. Sorry. Let me just get that back up. Which Tom Cruise? Okay, this is not as deep. Which Tom Cruise do you prefer? 80s, 90s Cruise or 21st century Cruise? 21st century Cruise with a bullet.
21st century Cruise.
Yeah. That was easy.
Yeah. I think 80s Cruise was good. I think 90s Cruise wasn't that great. And then you have the, you know, he made actually some genuinely great movies in the, I suppose, yeah, things like, you know, when he was doing things like Magnolia and bits like that. Good, but I think the Cruise we've got now, I think, is the best Cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, the one-man cinema machine.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's great the fact that he's got this relationship with Christopher McQuarrie where they are just, they're very much a team that kind of get each other. And, you know, him saying, you know, I don't want to make movies anymore where he's not involved in some way. You know, he's got his boy and they're going to go together. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of, it's going to be really interesting where that goes.
Mm.
You know, even outside of just the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
Nice.
that the last one?
It was indeed. Thank you very much, folks. We weren't. It's just the fact we weren't even really soliciting for it, and people took the fucking time. That genuinely moved by that. Thank you.
Yes. Right. So, as is customary, Ian, what are we covering next week? In a genuine, what the fuck are we covering next week?
Guys, I've got no fucking idea. So,
I had a look. It's like, there's nothing. There's not like even like a stealth release out.
No, there legitimately isn't.
so it is because Mission Impossible was supposed to be Friday, but they pulled it forward so they could get more IMAX time before Oppenheimer. So, which is to benefit for this show. I feel like maybe a potential catch-up show where we maybe look at a couple of things that we haven't reviewed yet might be in order.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
You know, we'll talk off mic. We'll let it be a surprise. Maybe there'll be a show next week, but legit no idea what we'll talk about.
But we'll find something for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Bird Box Barcelona.
That won't be Bird Box Barcelona. I'm actually gonna have a look and see what is out on that. Is it just Bird Box Barcelona?
That's the release on Friday for Netflix, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Everyone was running scared of Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
So we'll think of something. And then Barbenheimer will be the week after.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Rebecca.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Mark.
And thank you very much, listeners. 500 episodes. Let's fucking keep this fucking ship a rolling. Ships don't roll.
They don't.
They don't.
No.
No. Let's keep this fucking trainer fucking swimming.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Rolling the river.
I don't know, I like that.
Rolling a river, there you fucking go.
Yeah, and Rolling in the Deep by Adele. That's
Not as good as Creedence, but...
Well, no. Adele music is a piece of shit.
I always preferred Linkin Park's version of that.
What, than Adele's?
Yeah.
They've covered an Adele song.
Have you never heard? What is it?
No.
Just to doing Rolling in the Deep. It's really fucking good.
Fair play.
Yeah. Search it out.
I'm rolling in the deep.
And have you heard his reggaeton version of Numb he did that time once? It's like a half joke bit. It's fucking great. Anyway, that was a weird ending to the episode.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Fuck you, Jason Reitman.
Bye.
Bye.